Well, we are just 2 days away from US President Donald Trump visiting India. Meanwhile, a senior US administration official has said that US President Donald Trump is expected to raise the CAA and NRC issues with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Sources also said that Trump will talk about issues that have come to the administration's notice in his meetings with Prime Minister Modi and will convey that the world is looking at India to continue to uphold its democratic traditions. Trump is also expected to raise the religious freedom issue. Also will argue India will in fact urge India and Pakistan to seek and maintain peace and stability around the line of control and refrain from actions or statements that could increase tension in the region. As India gears up to welcome US President Donald Trump with the pomp and ceremony, these kind of statements coming in from senior US administration official. Priyanka, my colleague, also joining us live on the broadcast. Priyanka, first up, take us through the preparations as we're close to US President Donald Trump finally arriving in India. Of course, it is going to be a grand welcome, a mega event that we're going to be looking at. But these kind of statements coming in from US administration official, certainly slightly problematic because, these kind of issues India has maintained are extremely internal.
Absolutely. Less than 48 hours to go for the president of the US, along with the First Lady and the Prime Minister, really land in Ahmedabad to carry out this entire series of events that they will be taking part in. But of course, like you very rightly said, a slightly problematic statement from the US because it's also not very new because it is also going in the image of the US that they have been trying to create of the big brother, trying to play the big brother between India and Pakistan, talking about the peace that India and Pakistan need to maintain, talking about targeting terrorism and also uprooting terrorism by talking. And of course, we remember just a few months back, even during the abrogation of the Article 370, they had been talking about how they wanted to be a mediator between India and Pakistan. But of course, there had been a lot of going back and forth around that issue as well. But the timeline is also a little bit iffy because what we saw was the US president come out first and say that there's going to be a mega trade deal, and then he came out and said that he is very fond of the Prime Minister, but the trade deal might be delayed slightly around the time of the elections. And after that, of course, we had him yesterday. We saw the statement of the US President Donald Trump saying that India has the highest tariffs in the world. So, of course, clearly there is a lot of bilateral talks, bilateral dialogues that are going on between the two countries, and that really goes to show in how much water really those trade talks are, because in less than 48 hours, we will have the President of the US coming to Ahmedabad and then probably also having a lot of meetings with the Prime Minister, probably not on the first day, because what we're also being told now, very crucial actually to note this, that earlier we were being told by sources that the US President Donald Trump and the First Lady will be going to the Gandhi ashram here. That is where there was going to be a closed door meeting, but that particular visit might not happen, is something that we're being told by the officials. So the first day, the first few hours of the US President's time in India, specifically in Ahmedabad, they might not get so much time to spend together. They might not have so many meetings to talk about these trade relations, to talk about more trade deals between the two countries. Probably on the second day of the president's visit to the country, he might have a few meetings in Delhi, of course. But the first day, what we were also being told, the crucial meeting that was going to happen between behind closed doors, a candid meeting, a candid face-to-face between the president and the Prime Minister might not happen, is something that we're getting to be. Something that we're getting told right now by officials.
Absolutely.
Of course, nothing is confirmed as of now. But like you very rightly said, preparations are in full swing for hosting the president and the First Lady along with the Prime Minister in Ahmedabad, as they will be landing on 24th of February at around 12 p.m. And from there, they will be carrying out a mega road show. And after that, of course, they might or might not go towards the Sabarmati ashram, but definitely will be going towards the Motera Stadium, the world's largest stadium, where the program program is Namaste Trump, that is going to be on the parallel lines of Howdy Modi that the Prime Minister had been hosted by the US President a few months back in the US, and now the Prime Minister will be able to host the US President here in the Motera Stadium, a project that was very close to his heart when he was the Chief Minister as well. So, of course, all of these statements that have come from the US senior officials talking about how they want to talk about the peace between India and Pakistan around the LOC, and talk about how India has high tariff rates, and all of that might get ironed out in the next few hours, and that's really something that might reflect in the probable visit to the Gandhi Ashram, and also to the entire visit of the President, that he will be spending time with the Prime Minister, and then of course making some kind of statement, some kind of joint statement at the Motera Stadium, where we will see the President and the Prime Minister and the First Lady sharing a stage, and then probably talking about the relations that India and the US has. Because remember, even when we saw the Howdy Modi event, the body language of both the leaders, the kind of statements that both the leaders had made, there is quite a strong bonhomie between the two leaders, between the two countries. So, of course, these minor statements, these minorly problematic statements that have come from the US delegation, from the US officials, might get ironed out in the next few hours, since it seems like there are still trade talks on the way, which might finally culminate on 24th of February, where we will see both the leaders finally make some kind of statement in public in Motera Stadium.
Absolutely. Various statements coming in ahead of the visit, Priyanka. Of course, it will get clear as to what really is the US trying to hint at once US President Donald Trump arrives here. Stay on with us. As far as the preparations are